What is up today, YouTube? So today I needed to get a little bit of resin casting done, so I thought we'd do a little bit of that since, you know, it's what I need to get done, and it's Tuesday and I need this out tomorrow. So with that said, we are going to start with actually pouring our resin. I do it a bit backwards to the way a lot of other people do it. I actually pour my hardener and then my resin through the hardener. I find it allows me to mix it up quicker and get everything ready to go. So we're gonna pour up 24 ounces. So we start with the hardener. This is gonna look a little off from the angle of the camera, but this is a 1-to-1 mix. So there's 10, 11, and 12 ounces on the nose. Got a couple different things I gotta pour today. First one I'm actually just gonna dump without showing it because it's, I believe, for a gift that I don't think people want out, and I know at least one person that would be for that actually watches this channel. So I'm just gonna try to keep that one hidden, but that'll take like 20 seconds. I might actually even just stop the video just so if you see it cut and it's lower, you know why. There's 22, 23, and slow it down, and there's 24 ounces, 12 ounces of each. And now for the fun part, the mixing. Don't mind my messy desk. I do a lot of resin pouring on here. It definitely shows. One thing, whenever you work with resin, always make sure you've got gloves. I like these blue nitriles. Some of my older videos you might see I used to wear blacks. I just get medium duty now. I don't use the heavy duty for resin. I do have some heavy duty that I use, especially if I'm doing cyanoacrylate finishes on pens, because that stuff is gnarly and it tears these things to pieces. So whenever you're mixing, it's always a good idea to stop every so often, scrape the sides, scrape the bottom. Make sure you're getting a nice consistent mixture. And also make sure that when you do mix this up, not all resins are 1-to-1 by volume. Sometimes they go by weight. Other ones that I've used are 3 parts resin to 1 part hardener. It's a slow setting, so you can actually pour a lot deeper. The brand I really like that's doesn't break the bank, it's actually they've been sold out for almost a year now, and I'm starting to wonder if they're even ever going to bring it back, which is kind of upsetting. But I've got another brand to try downstairs. I just need to quit being lazy and get some more resin bowls, blanks mixed up and poured, because yeah. I should use pressure pots and stuff, which is just a thing you pump up with air pressure to help get rid of these air bubbles. Part of me is lazy, the other part of me has found a light spritz of alcohol on the top actually releases 99% of the bubbles. And with a lot of the stuff I've been doing lately, that's all it takes to get it basically clear. So this is actually looking kind of good to go already. I don't know if the camera will pick it up, but we'll see if I can get it to do it in frame here in a second. For the way I actually test my resin to make sure it is mixed thoroughly. All I do is watch when it goes, when it pours past. You look through, have a light between you and your resin, and if it's not mixed up thoroughly, you'll actually see little strings in there. This is actually looking pretty clear, and if it looks like it's just a thick, or crystal clear but thick, that's what you want to see. There is nothing worse than having that little bit of resin that's not mixed in the bottom right. So then you get random pockets of uncured, sticky, nasty resin. Especially when you do what I do with it and actually, you know, put it on the lathe and turn it. Long-term viewers of the channel will know my little Lego guy, Legu. This is actually, I think this is actually the first, I think he's the first one I did with this particular brand of resin. I'm not super brand loyal, but when I find one that's not stupid expensive, I tend to stick with it, especially if it turns well. They're definitely not all made the same. But yeah, so I'm gonna pour the one real quick, and then we're gonna come back and I'm going to get a few things poured out and ready to go. And that's pretty much gonna be it for today. I'm just doing a general casting video, because I've been promising it for a while and I figured why not. So I'll be back in a minute. Well, a transition. So that's all poured up. So now I'm gonna take a couple pieces of wood, throw in these pen molds. I'm not gonna be any real rhyme or reason to what I'm doing. I'm just gonna throw them in, make them fit. We're gonna do a couple where I add some colors and just, yeah. So just taking these little bits, just drop them in however they want to go in. If they stick out of the top, it's not the end of the world. This is for a different project that now that I know I can actually get these to cast up pretty well. I did a test run last week. So yeah. I wanted a minimum of 4 more, but it never hurts to have a few extras just in case. That little piece in there, that guy there, piece there. Sometimes these will float on you, so if you are ever casting wood, I definitely recommend throwing some stabilizing resin in it with a vacuum chamber. Again, if that's something anybody really wants to see, or just have the basic premise explained, let me know. I don't want to bore you guys with all kinds of technical details, especially if you don't care. But yeah, so once that's done, you just take this. You want a nice, slow, controlled pour. It helps reduce the number of bubbles you get. And yeah, just pour it up to the top, or however full you want it. Like if you wanted straight lines in a pen blank, you could do multiple layers. Just be warned, the thinner the layer, the longer it's probably going to take to cure. because this is an exothermic reaction, which means it creates or generates heat while it's curing. So yeah, it's not an excessive amount. Like you could take it and hold it if you really wanted to, but just be aware that if it is curing and you pick it up, it will be hot. Again, it's not like it doesn't get hot enough to scald, but that's one reason why you want to make sure you got your gloves on and safety glasses. Since I actually wear glasses every day, I don't worry about those as much, because at least I have something over my eyes. And yeah, the real key to doing this, mix well, mix some more. Once you think it's good, mix it a little bit more. And once you think that's good, mix it up a little bit more. And yeah, once you're done with all that, you just take your time. Understand the resin's working time, which is how long you have before it starts to heat up and cure. I believe this particular brand has like 10 to 15 minutes. I've taken longer, but it is a risk that you could actually have the resin go off in the container you're pouring from if you take too long. So make sure you've got everything you need around you, so when you're ready to go, you can just pick it up and go. Like I had all the wood sitting here next to the tray, because I'm actually, from the time I hit record to this point, I have not gotten up. As soon as I'm done pouring, I'll show you guys some of the things you can cast or do with it, which is another Christmas gift that I'm actually working on for another side of my family, where we had another death a few months ago. I'm not going to say what the final product's going to look like, I'm just showing where it's at to this point. Also, I will say at this time, come December 1st, due to the sheer amount of work I have to get done for family gifts, I'm not accepting any major orders. Like if you want a pen or two, or if it's something I can knock out in a couple hours, I will gladly do it. But just be warned, I might be turning down orders for this year, because I've got a lot I gotta get done, plus I haven't started doing anything for the holidays yet. I'm fortunate that I don't buy gifts, I make them, so I can get away with some of that. But yeah, so that's clear resin pouring. Alright, I got enough to, I want a little bit on the bottom of a couple of these cups. I'm trying to save myself about 3 to 4 ounces that I'm actually going to add some color to. Alright, we're still sitting at 5, so I can do another one. And these will be the base layer for some of the decorative eggs that I make. If you guys haven't seen one, I have one sitting here I'll grab here in a minute. But what I do is this will be the part that gets clamped into my chuck, that little bit of resin, and then I can use a different stripe that cures under UV light to secure the piece of wood to the bottom. That's actually pre-painted, that I did while watching one of my buddy's YouTube channels, actually, in this very seat at this very desk. But yeah, and there's all different kinds of resin. Like these bottles back here is actually another type of UV resin I use in my 3D printer. It's that's a process. It's really boring to watch, but with what's going on under the template is absolutely fascinating, because it has a screen like what you're watching this video on. And before I forget, all I did was pour some mica powder in here, and I'm mixing it up. I'm gonna fill up these three other pen blanks or molds real quick with this really pretty green. And depending on how you swirl it, you can actually put swirl patterns in this stuff. I love this mica powder. Helps that my favorite color is green too, so there's that. Might be why I just go crazy for this particular one. But anyway, back to what I was talking about. So yeah, the 3D printer I have, it has a UV screen that turns the light on in certain areas, just like your TV with its pixels when it's making an image, and it can do just about, or it can make all kinds of nifty stuff. Like I've got some mini crate molds that I've made with it. I'm sorry, mini milk crate molds. And it's not even a mold, it literally just makes the crate itself. It's pretty cool, I'm not gonna lie. It's fun to play with. Actually, oh no, okay, I thought I made a drawer for a little tabletop organizer or desktop organizer, but nope, I got a business card holder in there right now, because that's what this machine is. Here is actually my 3D printer. It's not a big fancy one, it's honestly one of the cheapest ones. Wasn't sure if I wanted to get into it or not, so I figured I'd give it a shot with a cheaper model before I went whole hog into investing a lot of money into them. And it's definitely fun. I have a hard time spending a lot of money on it or on a bigger one right now, because, well, I don't know that I'd be able to sell a whole lot with it. But with what I can do for it, I use it for a lot of stuff around my house. Again, like if I need a mini crate or something to hold pens and stuff, or pen parts while I'm out working. But like I said, some of the other projects that I've got going, like I did these little angels that I actually painted white, put a little flesh tone on the skin. But, because that's why I made them. This is going to be a remembrance. I don't want to say what the shape it's going to be, because it's literally a family Christmas present. But once it's done, I'll have it shaped up. There's a little bit of flowers from my aunt's funeral. But once these are done, I think they're actually going to turn out really nice. I think 15 of those I got to get done. But then the eggs I was talking about is kind of like this. This is one of the first ones I tried, but that's just a piece of wood in there that I painted up. This one doesn't look that great because I wasn't sure what I was doing. I just wanted to try it. Very fun, very addictive to make. But yeah, so whenever you hear me talking about casting resin, this is the basics. There's a lot of other things to consider, like You know, if I'm doing something like a bowl, it's advisable to use some more of a slow curing versus this, which is a fast curing. Oh yeah, I don't have my spritz bottle in here with my alcohol. I'll have to grab that before I leave. But yeah, so there's the basics of it. And yeah, I can't think of, sorry. Yeah, I cannot think of anything else I can really add to it. Other than, you know, when I do say I do also cast bulb links, here's a thing of a bunch of letter beads that's I precast in a bowl. I'm going to do a little bit of shaping to the outside and then hollow all of this part out. And yeah, this is going to be one of my winter projects. I'm going to get a few more done. Like I'm thinking, I tried doing a button bowl once, which actually ended up looking really good, but I forget what the issue I ended up having was. I'm pretty sure it was a yeah, I can't remember off the top of my head, and it's out in the barn, so I'm lazy. But yeah. So that's the basics of bowl casting, or pen blank casting, resin work. You can do all kinds of stuff, like if you get coaster molds, they make diffuser molds where you can put like different types of oil. What's that called? I forget what they call them, but you know what I mean. Like peppermint oils, lavender oil, stuff like that, essential oils. So you can get stuff like that. You can make little charms and put into jewelry. I actually have pen holders that I make with it. I mean, it's literally endless what you can do, especially if you have, you know, even just like it cuts with on saws like butter. I actually have a tabletop I did downstairs, ended up way undersizing what I wanted it for, so I'm gonna have to go back and redo all that, but it actually looks kind of cool. I did a little ocean scene where I've got different colors of blue where I layered stuff in weird ways, put waves in it, and actually have them, I think I had 3 or 4 layers of waves to that, so it has the 3-dimensional effect just like the real ocean does. I actually might have put a nuclear submarine in there too, because I'm special. But yeah, so that said, I'm gonna hop off of here, edit this together, get it uploading, and I have got to get to a store to drop some stuff off, and if I have time, I'm gonna get to work. Oh, and one other thing before I go. Transition, please. So I gave away a little bit of this when on last week's video, if you stayed till the very end, which again, of course, I'm gonna make you guys do that. I'm gonna bring you down here first real quick. But yeah, so it'll actually, that wood will end up looking something like this with the different pieces I put in there. So, which this hopefully will be turning into a pen later today. And then, yeah, so, yep, with that, that's everything I got for you. Have a good one.